What's going on, people? So, got some Jordans to talk about today. Yeah, see the side of the box? It's all that stuff that everybody's been hyped up about. At least they were last week. But now that last week is over, I assume that nobody cares anymore and it's on to whatever is next, right? Because that's kind of how that world works. I get a lot of worlds of collecting things work that way. You know, once you get the thing, that's it. You're done. You just put it to the back of your mind, back of your closet, move on to whatever is the next release. Anyway, so these, if you've paid attention to anything on this channel before, right, then you know that that's not my size, which means that these are not for me, right? So just to give you an idea of how this came to happen, I was out of town or whatever. I got my little, I think it was on my way to it was on my way to that ICP concert last week. Got the little notification and whatnot that I had early access to these here white cements and whatnot. And a friend of mine, he from work, he like really wanted these and stuff. I did not, right? I'm good. And so I figured, all right, I'll just put this order in, send him a picture of it, the order thing, like, hey, you owe me some money. He's like, all right, cool, no problem. So there you go. Now you're all caught up. So this right here is the Air Jordan 4 Retro in the white cement colorway for 2025. Apparently these have released before a couple times. I remember seeing them once before and no idea when it was. We're going to start with the bottom. Down there, across the bottom, looks like a pretty standard outsole to me. Nothing too crazy about it, but again, this is based off of some stuff from like many years ago. I like the colors though. Moving along to the midsole and whatnot. Again, nothing too fancy up there really, but I really am a big fan of this like elephant print thing that they have going on. Well, not elephant print, but like this white cement thing that they have going on here, right? Or I guess it's not really white because it's gray and black, but you do need a little bit of white to make gray if you have black. I don't know. But either way, you got that going on, right? That's a whole thing that makes up a lot of this. You switch over to the inside, got that same sort of thing going on in there too, right? With like the little splatter look. Big fan of it. Think it looks really cool. So there you go. Now, a couple other pictures real quick just to kind of give you a more rounded idea of what we're getting into, which is probably unnecessary for a lot of people. But I do it because it's a thing that I do. So anyways, you get that right? Cool, good. Let's move on. We'll get in here just a little bit closer and talk about some stuff. So the overall up for this, right? You saw that it's leather, right? And you probably knew that before you even watched this video. But down here, like one thing I do like about it, even though it feels a little cheap in some ways, is that it's flat. So when I say flat, I'm talking like, so these right here, like, what's this, the Mellow 12s? Yeah, like they got this little tumble thing, which I get it can make for a decent look on certain things, but ultimately, I am a big fan of stuff just being flat leather, maybe there's like a better word for that, but I'm not a materials guy. So either way, that's kind of what's going on all throughout it, right? And one other thing I'll point out, because I said it last night, down here, right above the toe box, you got this little point thing here, right? Not a fan of that. It just kind of throws it off. I didn't notice it until the end of the live unboxing and stuff, but once I did, I couldn't unsee it. And if it was just like a straight, flat, rounded thing, that'd be cool, but something about that just throws it off to me, and I'm not okay with it. Not enough to like say, oh, that's why I would not buy them. I didn't buy them because I just didn't want them, but it is what it is. And then as you move on to the siding and all that stuff, a lot of things that look familiar. So you got this little netting thing in the middle area, right? Behind that is some mesh. And then if you pull out just a little bit, you got like these big black things holding down the laces and all that good stuff, right? So that's to be expected. And then you have on the back piece anyways, more of that gray and black cement stuff happening there, holding down like the rear black thing. So that's pretty cool. There might be words for those things. I don't know what those words are. Let's go to the back here. So on the back, everything you probably expected from a pair of these, right? So big Nike Air thing, got the gray and black and all that good stuff. Once again, the one thing I'll point out is like this little top piece here. It's pretty flimsy, right? I thought it was going to be like solid or something. It just kind of looked like it would be solid, but it's not, which is probably a good thing. So that's enough of that. Jumping back over here real quick, the laces, finishing off that area. Flat, plain, white laces. Behind that, you got more of that sort of netting type of thing, that plastic netting that they had on the side. And behind that looks like a typical mesh tongue. As you get to the top of the tongue though, one thing that I noticed last night and I'm not a fan of is this little patch that they have up here. From certain angles, it looks like there's a little color bleeding from like the red into like the white, which is a thing that happens on a lot of stuff, right? So it's not like it's never been done before or whatever. I just don't really like the fact that that happened. But it is what it is, right? And maybe that's like by design or whatever. I don't know. It's just a look that I am not super into. Otherwise, the rest of the top of the tongue is going to be leather, right? None of the mesh that you saw on the bottom. And then on the back end of the tongue, you have this upside down Air Jordan thing. I think some 5s maybe have that too or something. I don't know. I know I've seen it on something else. What exactly? Who knows? And then on the inside, down on the insole, excuse me, you have a black insole with red text, Nike Air, and all that stuff. And then it seems pretty plush as far as like this overall sock liner with this white stuff going on here, right? So that's the visual, people. I think I've covered everything. So we're going to hit you with some personal thoughts. And, well, actually, I'm going to give you the sizing stuff now. And then I'll do the personal thoughts to close out the video. Because most people only care about the sizing stuff. And I don't have anything for it. So that means you could really just leave at this point. Sizing-wise, right? The couple pairs that I have, I think 2 or 3, I bought them true to size. It's working out fine for me, right? How do they feel? I honestly don't remember. Probably not great by my standards. Because I'm pretty much a running shoe kind of guy. So my standard for comfort is a little different, right? And these probably just don't compete. But whatever. They got an air unit in there. Didn't really mention that, but there is an air unit in the back, right? So that's something to help them. But I have heard that Jordan 4s can be a little crazy with the sizing and that they aren't all the same, right? Whereas other things are pretty consistent. I've heard, again, this is just hearsay, that these are not. I'm not sure what's up with that, but there are plenty of White Cement 4 videos on the internet. I'm sure of it. I saw McFly. He put up a video. What's his name? E-Money Shoes. He probably has put up a video, or at least will soon. I don't know. But either way, there's a lot of information out there. That's just my take on it. Let's move on. Hit you some personal thoughts real quick. I am okay with these, right? They look fine. I've got no complaints. But it's just not a look that's for me, right? When I look at white shoes, I'm already kind of just like turned away because I'm just not a big white shoe guy. But past that, as far as just like the overall presentation of these things goes, right? It's a nice look. It is, right? It's just that, it's not a look exactly for me at this point. If this was like years ago when I had fewer shoes and stuff, I might have bought them anyway just because it's not a bad look and I figure I'll probably wear it at some point. But now that I have a decent number of shoes and not a number that I do not know, so don't ask, now I got to be a little more selective about what gets added to the inventory, right? Because a lot of this stuff, things of this type nature, like the Jordans and stuff, tend to just not really be worn a whole lot. Because again, the running shoes, that's what I usually have on. So I say that, but still looking at these and thinking like, even though I'm not super into it for myself, like I do like them. And the fact that like I didn't notice any blemishes or whatever on these, like as far as quality control, that means a lot too. Because usually like there's something that's a little off, and this time not at all. So that's pretty cool. But yeah, I think the friend of mine like that wanted these, I think he'll be super into them or whatever. But the one thing that I forgot to mention because I wasn't looking at the other pair, this hang tag on the side, right? For one, I don't care for hang tags, and two, I feel like they've gotten significantly cheaper over the years. Because like, what's that blue pair I have? The Dunk from Above? Yeah, it has like a solid plastic hang tag that's like freaking sturdy. You could use that as a coaster if you wanted. And it has like a little chain on it, And I think I have some Air Max 90s that have the same presentation. Now they just give you this little plastic piece here, and like this thing seems like an afterthought too. So given that prices of things aren't getting any cheaper, right? You would think that they'd at least give you something to like help you feel like it's justified, but instead they give you trash. So there we go. That's it from me. From me to you. Have a nice rest of your day or rest of your night, whatever it is, wherever you are. I'm done recording things for today, so yay me. Later, people.